First Contact's Price. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of Orbital Station Delta, watching Earth rotate beneath her. 20 years of service in the United Earth Defense Force hadn't prepared her for this moment. The message playing on repeat in the command center behind her changed everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the cosmos. Federation outposts falling silent. Pattern suggests coordinated hunting. Need immediate assistance. Peaceful species have no defense. The alien transmission had arrived 3 hours ago, encoded in mathematical sequences that Earth's quantum computers had decoded with surprising ease. It wasn't the first contact humanity had dreamed of. No cultural exchange, no diplomatic overtures, just pure, raw desperation. Admiral. Commander Marcus Rodriguez called from his station. The Security Council is ready for your briefing. Chen turned from the viewport, her expression grave. For decades, Earth had maintained the fiction of being a relatively primitive civilization, hiding their true military capabilities behind a carefully crafted facade of civilian space exploration. That deception was about to end. The holographic projections of Earth's leadership materialized around her. 20 faces representing the planet's unified government, all wearing the same expression of barely contained anxiety. Ladies and gentlemen, Chen began, what I'm about to share will reshape humanity's role in the galaxy. We are not alone, but our first contact comes with a price. The Admiral gestured, and the alien message played again. As the translation scrolled across their screens, she continued, the Galactic Federation, a coalition of 17 spacefaring species, is under attack. Their aggressor appears to be hunting them systematically, targeting civilian populations and communication hubs. They've lost contact with 32 outposts in the past solar month, and they're asking us for help. The Chinese premier's hologram leaned forward. Why us? We've deliberately maintained the appearance of a pre-FTL civilization. Chen's lips curved in a grim smile. Because they noticed something about us that we've tried to hide. Their message included detailed scans of Earth. They know we're from what they classify as a death world, a planet that should be too hostile to produce sapient life. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had evolved on a world that would kill most sentient species in minutes. Their bodies were built to survive extreme temperature variations, high gravity, and atmospheric pressure that would crush their new alien contacts. Even their immune systems were weaponized, evolved to fight off countless microscopic threats. The Federation species evolved on worlds we would consider paradise, Chen explained. Stable climates, minimal predators, low gravity. They developed incredible technology, but never needed to develop weapons. Never had to fight. Never had to become like us. The UN Secretary General spoke up, her voice thoughtful. They're looking for warriors. They're looking for survivors, Chen corrected. Species who evolved having to fight for every breath, every meal, every day of existence. They found our world and recognized something they need desperately. The children of a planet that forged us in violence and struggle. The Russian president's hologram flickered as he shook his head. If we reveal our true capabilities now, they'll know we've been deceiving the galaxy. We've built our defense fleet in secret for a reason. Yes, Chen agreed, to protect Earth from hostile first contact. But what if our first contact isn't hostile? What if it's a cry for help from peaceful species who need exactly what Earth's harsh evolution gave us? She brought up new holographic displays, showing Earth's hidden military might. Stealth ships powered by miniaturized stars. Weapons developed through centuries of warfare, refined by decades of preparing for cosmic threats. A force built not for conquest, but for survival. We have a choice, Chen said quietly. We can maintain our deception, hide behind our facade of primitive technology, and watch as peaceful civilizations are hunted to extinction. Or we can step forward and show the galaxy that being forged in violence doesn't make us violent. It makes us perfect protectors for those who never had to learn to fight. The Security Council members exchanged looks. They had all read the histories, knew how humanity's worst traits had been tempered by their best, how the capacity for violence had been balanced by the desire to protect, how Earth's nations had finally united not through conquest, but through the shared desire to defend their world. The Federation's message included coordinates, Chen continued. They're gathering what forces they have at a system they call Haven's Rest. They're asking any species who can fight to meet them there, to help them survive. The Secretary General stood, her hologram brightening. Put it to a vote, all in favor of revealing Earth's true capabilities and answering the Federation's call for aid. One by one, the holograms shifted color to green. 20 lights glowing with humanity's decision to step onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as guardians. Admiral Chen turned back to the viewport, to the blue marble of Earth spinning below. Commander Rodriguez, send the response. Tell them the children of Earth are coming to help. As the message was encoded and transmitted, Chen reflected on the irony. Humanity had hidden their strength, fearing it would mark them as monsters in the eyes of peaceful species. Instead, it made them exactly what the galaxy needed: protectors who understood the price of peace, warriors who fought hardest to defend others. The Deathworlders were about to show the galaxy why evolution had made them so dangerous. Not to conquer, but to guard. Not to destroy, but to protect. And somewhere out there, something was about to learn why hunting peaceful species was a very, very bad idea. The crucible of Earth, the Haven's Rest Station, loomed before them, a graceful spiral of crystalline structures that seemed to dance in the light of its twin suns. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the EDF Nemesis, Earth's flagship, watching as her fleet dropped out of FTL in perfect formation. 50 ships, each one representing the pinnacle of human military engineering, hidden for decades beneath a carefully maintained facade of primitive technology. Multiple contacts, Commander Rodriguez reported. Federation vessels maintaining distance. Their energy signatures suggest defensive postures. They're afraid of us, Chen realized. The Federation ships were elegant, beautiful constructions that looked more like art than spacecraft. Beside them, Earth's vessels must have appeared barbaric. Angular, armored, bristling with weapon systems their sensors could probably identify all too well. Admiral, Lieutenant Park called from communications. We're receiving a transmission from the station. They're requesting we power down our weapons before approaching. Chen smiled grimly. Respond with a partial power down only. Maintain defensive capabilities. We didn't come all this way to be helpless if this is a trap. As the Nemesis docked with Haven's Rest, Chen prepared herself for the diplomatic dance ahead. She'd selected her delegation carefully: scientists, diplomats, and yes, warriors. The Federation needed to understand not just what humanity could do, but why they could do it. The station's greeting chamber was a vast hall filled with representatives from the Federation species. Chen's breath caught as she took in their diversity. Beams of pure energy floating in containment fields, crystalline entities that chimed musically as they moved, plant-like creatures whose leaves shifted in colors she had no names for, and all of them watching her delegation with what her combat instincts identified as barely concealed fear. A tall, willowy being stepped forward, its translucent skin pulsing with bioluminescent patterns. "I am First Speaker Lyra," it said, its words translated by the quantum computers both sides now shared. "We appreciate Earth's response to our call. Though we confess your level of military technology is unexpected." Chen met the alien's gaze steadily. "You asked for help from those who could fight. On Earth, we learned to fight before we learned to talk." "Yes." Another being moved forward, this one looking like a collection of floating geometric shapes. "Your world. We have studied it since detecting your response. We do not understand how sapient life could evolve in such conditions." Chen gestured, and one of her scientists activated a holographic display. Earth appeared before them, beautiful and terrible in its raw power. "Let us show you." The images began to play, Earth's history written in stone and bone. Dinosaurs battling for survival, ice ages that forced adaptation, natural disasters that shaped evolution. Early humans huddled around fires, using their minds to survive where their bodies alone could not. Your worlds, Chen explained, nurtured life gently. Ours forged us through adversity. Every day was a battle for survival. Every step of evolution was paid for in blood and sacrifice. She showed them more. Human cities rising from hostile environments. People surviving in the hottest deserts and coldest poles. The endless dance of predator and prey that had shaped Earth's biosphere. This, she pointed to an image of a human mother protecting her child from danger, is what your hunters don't understand about us. We learned violence not because we loved it, but because we had to. And we learned to direct it not for conquest, but for protection. The Federation representatives watched in stunned silence as Earth's history unfolded before them. They saw humans running into burning buildings to save strangers, doctors fighting invisible enemies with microscopes and medicine, soldiers standing between civilians and danger. Your hunter species thinks itself apex predators, Chen continued. But true apex predators don't need to hunt the defenseless. On Earth, we evolved past that. We learned that true strength lies not in dominating others, but in protecting them. First speaker Lyra's bioluminescence flickered rapidly. You hide such power, yet you use it for defense rather than conquest. Why? Chen's expression softened. Because that's the other lesson Earth taught us. The strongest species aren't those that kill most efficiently. They're the ones that form communities, that protect their young, that work together to survive. She brought up new images, Earth's nations working together to face global challenges, the unified response to climate change, the first colonies on Mars built by international cooperation. We hid our strength because we feared peaceful species would see us as monsters, Chen explained. We didn't understand that evolution had made us exactly what the galaxy needs, guardians who understand both the necessity of violence and the greater necessity of restraint. The geometric being chimes softly. You speak of protection, yet the hunters have destroyed civilizations far older than yours. What makes you believe you can succeed where others failed? Chen smiled, but there was steel in it, because while your species were building utopias, Earth was building survivors. While you were reaching for the stars in peace, we were preparing for war, not because we wanted it, but because we knew that paradise must be guarded. She took a deep breath, looking at each alien representative in turn. You called for help from those who could fight. We answered not because we love battle, but because we hate seeing the innocent suffer. Earth is a death world, yes, but it taught us the most important lesson of all. That strength exists to protect those who have none. The chamber fell silent as her words sank in. Then, slowly, first speaker Lyra moved forward and did something that made the other Federation representatives gasp. It extended a hand in the human gesture of greeting. Perhaps, it said softly, we have finally found not just warriors, but guardians worthy of the title. Chen took the offered hand gently, careful of her earthborn strength. As she did, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Lieutenant Park's voice crackled over her comm. Admiral, multiple contacts just dropped out of FTL. Energy signatures matched the Hunter fleet descriptions. The Admiral's expression hardened. Then it's time to show them why evolution made us so dangerous. She turned to first speaker Lyra. Get your people to safety. The children of Earth will show you what it means to be forged in fire. The hunters were about to learn that attacking peaceful species had drawn the attention of something far worse than prey. It had awakened the Guardians. Operation Safeguard. The bridge of the Nemesis erupted into controlled chaos as Admiral Chen strode to her command station. The tactical display showed 30 hunter vessels emerging from FTL, their biomechanical ships resembling massive predatory insects. Status report, Chen barked, her eyes scanning the tactical readouts. Hunter fleet maintaining attack formation, Rodriguez reported. Their energy signatures suggest weapons charging. Federation civilian ships are attempting emergency evacuation procedures. Chen's mind raced, applying centuries of human military doctrine to this new threat. The hunters' ships were larger, their weapons arguably more powerful. But humanity had learned long ago that victory wasn't about size, it was about adaptation. All ships, execute formation Delta, she ordered. Cruiser groups, establish defensive screen around Haven's Rest. Fighter squadrons, prepare for launch but hold position. Let's see how they react to a prey that shows teeth. The Earth fleet moved with practiced precision, their ships taking positions that would have made ancient naval commanders proud. The hunters, clearly unused to prey that organized an actual defense, paused their advance. "Admiral," Lieutenant Park called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the lead hunter vessel." "Put it through." The main screen flickered to life, showing a being that made Chen's combat-hardened nerves tingle. The hunter was a nightmare of evolved killing efficiency. Multiple compound eyes, kitten armor, and mandibles that clicked as it spoke. Interesting. Its translated voice held a tone of cruel amusement. New prey species attempts to protect old prey. Futile. Stand aside, or be consumed with them. Chen's response was cold and precise. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. You are targeting civilian populations and peaceful species under our protection. Withdraw immediately." The hunter's mandibles clicked rapidly, their equivalent of laughter. Protection. Prey protects prey. Natural order is clear. Strong consume weak. You will learn. Chen cut the transmission with a gesture. They're not used to their food talking back. All ships, battle stations, Rodriguez, begin broadcast of Operation Safeguard protocols on all frequencies. The commander nodded, understanding. The protocols weren't just combat instructions. They were a message to both allies and enemies. Earth was done hiding. "Hunter vessels advancing," Park reported. "Energy signatures suggest they're deploying boarding pods." Just as expected, Chen smiled grimly. "Initiate defense plan, Thermopylae." The Earth fleet's formation shifted subtly, creating what appeared to be gaps in their defense. The hunters, operating on instinct and experience against weaker prey, took the bait. Their boarding pods launched, streaking toward what they thought were vulnerabilities. Pods entering range of point defense grid. Now, the space around Earth's ships erupted in a dance of light as automated defense systems engage. The pods, designed to puncture the hulls of peaceful ships, met armor and point defense systems designed by a species that had spent millennia preparing for exactly this kind of threat. 60% of enemy boarding pods neutralize, Rodriguez reported with satisfaction. Remaining 40% are adjusting course. Wait, Hunter capital ships are launching their second wave. Chen nodded. Right on schedule. All fighters, launch. Show them why Earth's pilots are the best in human space. Squadrons of Earth fighters poured from their carrier ships, their designs a perfect blend of human combat experience and advanced technology. Unlike the Federation's delicate ships or the Hunter's biological weapons, Earth's fighters were compact, heavily armored, and piloted by humans who had trained in combat since childhood. Fighter squadrons, execute Raptor protocols, Chen commanded. Hit and fade attacks, focus on their sensor arrays. They're not used to prey that strikes back. Use that. The space around Haven's Rest transformed into a battlefield unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Earth fighters darted between the massive hunter ships, their weapons finding weak points that only a predator species would know to look for. The hunters' biological weapons were devastating but evolved for straight-line attacks against fleeing prey. They couldn't match the unpredictable, adaptive tactics of human pilots. Hunter fleet showing signs of confusion, Rodriguez reported with a hint of satisfaction. Their formation is breaking down. They've never faced an organized military response, Chen observed. All ships, prepare for Phase 2. Let's show them why challenging Earth was a mistake. The Nemesis's main guns charge, their power signature rising. Around the flagship, The rest of the Earth fleet moved into attack positions practiced in countless drills. They had trained for this moment since the first hints of alien life reached Earth's telescopes. All ships report ready, Admiral. Chen took a deep breath, remembering all the stories of Earth's predators. Lions hunting in coordinated packs, wolves surrounding their prey, humans rising to become the ultimate apex predators not through raw strength, but through intelligence and cooperation. Execute Operation Safeguard. Phase 2. Show them why Earth's children make the perfect guardians. The Earth fleet moved as one, their formation shifting from defensive to offensive with fluid grace. The hunters were about to learn that challenging a Deathworld species meant facing an enemy forged by billions of years of evolution, tempered by millennia of warfare, and driven by something stronger than hunger, the need to protect. And in the observation deck of Haven's Rest, the Federation representatives watched in awe as humanity demonstrated exactly why evolution had made them so dangerous. Not because they were mindless killers, but because they were intelligent, adaptive, and above all, determined to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. The Hunter's Shadow. 3 weeks after the Battle of Haven's Rest, Admiral Chen stood in the Nemesis Strategic Command Center, studying the holographic map of known Hunter attacks. The victory at Haven's Rest had been decisive, but the Hunters weren't finished. They'd simply changed tactics. They're learning, she murmured, watching the pattern of attacks shift. Just like we would. Commander Rodriguez nodded grimly. Small strike forces now, hitting isolated outposts instead of major populations. They're probing for weaknesses, testing our response times. The door slid open as Dr. Maya Patil entered, the xenobiologist's eyes bright with discovery. Admiral, I think we've figured out why they hunt the way they do. You need to see this. The scientist brought up new holographic displays, showing detailed scans of hunter biology. Look at their brain structure. It's not just about food. Their neural pathways are stimulated by the act of hunting itself. They literally can't stop. Chen frowned, studying the data. Like an addiction. More fundamental than that, Patil explained. It's coded into their DNA. But here's the fascinating part. They're not mindless predators. They have intelligence comparable to ours, but it's directed entirely toward becoming better hunters. Evolution's perfect predator, Rodriguez mused. Like Earth's sharks, but with sapient intelligence. Exactly, Patel nodded enthusiastically. But that's also their weakness. They evolved as ambush predators, relying on overwhelming force against weaker prey. They never developed the kind of adaptive intelligence that Earth's challenges forced on us. Chen's eyes narrowed as the implications sank in. Because their hunting method always worked, they never had to innovate beyond it. Unlike Earth, where survival required constant adaptation. Incoming priority transmission from the Federation Council. Lieutenant Park's voice interrupted over the comm. The holographic display shifted, showing first speaker Lyra's elegant form. Admiral Chen, we have a situation. The hunters have begun targeting our agricultural worlds. 3 food production centers have been destroyed in the past day. Chen's mind raced, applying Earth's long history of warfare to this new threat. They're adapting their strategy. If they can't beat us in direct combat, they'll try to starve out the civilian populations. We cannot protect every world. Lyra's bioluminescence pulsed with distress. Our territories are too vast, and your fleet, while powerful, cannot be everywhere at once. A smile slowly spread across Chen's face, the kind of smile that Earth's predators might have worn if they could. We don't need to be everywhere. Commander Rodriguez, bring up the tactical display of known hunter movements. The map appeared, showing the patterns of hunter attacks across Federation space. Chen gestured, and the display overlaid Earth's historical hunting grounds. African savannas where humans had first learned persistence hunting. Ancient forests where they'd developed ambush tactics. Look at their attack patterns, she pointed. They're hunting the way Earth's apex predators did before humans came along. But we evolved past that. We learned something they never had to. Lyra's form shifted in confusion. What did you learn? That the best way to hunt a hunter is to think like prey. Chen's eyes gleamed. Dr. Patel, your team's analysis confirms they're operating on instinct, yes. Even their advanced tactics are just extensions of their basic hunting patterns. The xenobiologist nodded. Their intelligence serves their hunting instincts, not the other way around. Then we have them. Chen turned to the Federation leader. First speaker, we need to coordinate with all your worlds. It's time to show these hunters why humans became Earth's dominant species. The plan came together quickly. Federation worlds began moving their populations in patterns that seemed random, but were actually carefully calculated to draw hunter attacks exactly where Earth's fleet wanted them. Supply ships traveled in convoys that appeared vulnerable but concealed deadly surprises. We're not just fighting their forces, Chen explained to her command staff. We're fighting their instincts. Every time they adapt, we're already 3 steps ahead because we understand what drives them. The strategy proved devastatingly effective. Hunter raids found themselves caught in traps designed by a species that had spent its entire history learning to outthink stronger predators. Earth's ships appeared to respond randomly to attacks, but were actually following patterns based on millions of years of predator-prey dynamics. Admiral Rodriguez reported 1 month into the new strategy. Hunter attacks have decreased by 60%. They're starting to avoid any target that even looks vulnerable, because they're finally learning what every predator on Earth eventually learned. Chen smiled grimly. When prey starts hunting you back, it's not prey anymore. The tactical display showed the results. Hunter forces withdrawing from Federation space, retreating to their own territories. They had finally encountered something their evolution hadn't prepared them for, a species that combined a predator's strength with a prey's cunning, all guided by an intelligence tempered through eons of survival on a death world. But as Chen studied the retreat patterns, her expression grew concerned. They're not giving up. They're consolidating, gathering their forces for something bigger. How can you be sure? Lyra asked, its form flickering with worry. Because it's what we would do, Chen replied softly. And in some ways, they're very much like us. Proud, territorial, and dangerous when cornered. The difference is, we learned to channel our predatory instincts into protection. They never had to. She turned to her command staff, her voice firm. Begin preparation for Operation Guardian Shield. If they want to act like Earth's apex predators, we'll remind them what happened to every apex predator that challenged humanity. The hunters were about to learn the final lesson of evolution on Earth, that true strength wasn't just about being the strongest predator. It was about being able to change, to adapt, and most importantly, to protect others. The children of Earth had been forged in the crucible of a death world, not to become mere killers, but to become something far more dangerous, guardians who understood both the art of war and the price of peace, guardians of the stars. The Hunter Armada emerged from FTL in waves, their biomechanical ships darkening the space around the Federation core worlds like a swarm of locusts. It was the largest concentration of Hunter forces ever recorded. Hundreds of capital ships, thousands of smaller vessels, all driven by the primal need to prove their dominance. Admiral Chen stood on the Nemesis bridge, watching the tactical display with the calm focus of a predator assessing its prey. The Hunter fleet's formation was perfect, their numbers overwhelming. They had learned from their defeats, adapted their tactics, gathered their strength. By all conventional military analysis, this should have been an unstoppable force. But Earth's children had never played by conventional rules. All ships report ready, Admiral, Rodriguez announced. Operation Guardian Shield is in effect. Chen nodded, her mind going back to the lessons of Earth's history, how humanity had survived not by being the strongest, but by being the smartest, how they had learned to turn apparent weakness into strength. Send the signal to the Federation worlds, she ordered. Begin evacuation protocols. The Hunter fleet advanced, their formation spreading out to encompass multiple star systems. Their sensors would be showing them exactly what they expected. Civilian ships fleeing in panic, defense platforms powering up in desperate last stands. Perfect prey behavior. They're taking the bait, Rodriguez reported. Hunter forces are splitting up to pursue civilian evacuation ships. Chen's lips curved in a predator smile. Commence Phase 1. Show them why you never corner something that evolved on Earth. The civilian ships suddenly changed course with impossible precision. The panicked evacuation transformed into a coordinated dance that split the Hunter fleet into precisely calculated segments. Before the Hunters could react, their perfectly organized armada had been divided into isolated battle groups. Phase 2, Chen commanded. Release the Prowlers. From hidden positions throughout the star system, Earth's newest weapons emerge. Ships smaller than fighters but packed with technology derived from studying Hunter biology. They were the ultimate expression of humanity's ability to adapt, to take the lessons of their own evolution and turn them into victory. The Prowlers struck with devastating effect, their weapons targeting the biological components of Hunter ships with surgical precision. They had learned from Earth's immune system, from the endless war between microscopic predator and prey that had shaped human biology. Hunter fleet showing signs of distress, Rodriguez reported with satisfaction. Their biological systems are rejecting their mechanical components. Just as Dr. Patel predicted, Chen nodded. They relied too heavily on biological weapons. They never considered that Earth's children would know more about fighting hostile biology than anyone. The Hunter fleet's coordination began to break down as ships struggled with failing systems. Their perfect formation dissolved into chaos as Earth's main fleet emerged from hiding, striking at exactly the weak points their strategy had created. "Admiral," Lieutenant Park called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the Hunter command ship." The main screen showed the Hunter leader, its compound eyes flickering with what Chen now recognized as fear. What are you?" "We are humanity," Chen replied calmly. "Children of Earth. A world that taught us every day what it means to survive. You thought you were the perfect predators, but you never understood the most important lesson our world taught us." "What lesson?" The Hunter's mandibles clicked in agitation. "That true strength isn't about being the best at killing. It's about being able to protect others. Every predator on Earth eventually learned that challenging humans meant facing something they couldn't comprehend. A species that combined a predator's strength with a prey's cunning, all guided by the understanding that power exists to protect." She leaned forward, her voice carrying the weight of Earth's entire evolutionary history. "You can retreat now, return to your territory, and live. Or you can continue fighting and learn firsthand why every apex predator on Earth either learned to coexist with humans or went extinct. Choose carefully." The Hunter leader's compound eyes studied her for a long moment. Perhaps it saw in her gaze the same determination that had driven ancient humans to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. The same will that had turned Earth's deadliest predators into humanity's companions. The same resolve that had united a world of warriors into protectors. "We withdraw," the Hunter announced. "Your territory, your protectorates will be marked as forbidden hunting grounds." As the Hunter fleet retreated, First Speaker Lyra's hologram appeared on the bridge. "You did not destroy them. You could have." Chen shook her head. "That's another lesson Earth taught us. Sometimes the strongest statement isn't destroying an enemy. It's showing them mercy when you have the power to destroy them." The Federation world celebrated their deliverance, but Chen's thoughts were already turning to the future. Earth had revealed itself to the galaxy not as conquerors, but as guardians. Their very nature as Deathworlders, once thought to be a mark of savagery, had proven to be exactly what the peaceful species of the galaxy needed. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. Tell them it's time to establish the Guardian Protocol. The galaxy needs protectors who understand both the necessity of strength and the importance of mercy." As the Nemesis turned toward home, Chen reflected on the irony. Humanity had spent so long hiding their true nature, fearing that being children of a death world would mark them as monsters. Instead, it had made them the perfect guardians, warriors who fought not for glory or conquest, but to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. The hunters had awakened the guardians, and the galaxy would never be the same. The children of Earth had found their true calling among the stars, not as conquerors, not as mere survivors, but as protectors of peace, guardians of the weak, and living proof that even the harshest evolution could produce not just warriors, but defenders. The Deathworlders had become the guardians, and the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter for it.